Hello BookTube, hello friends, welcome to Lizzie Faye Loves Books. I'm Elizabeth, and in this video I'd like to share with you what I'm planning to read, at least initially, for the summer. I was not really going to do a June TBR per se, but I think I've kind of figured out now how I'm going to structure my whole reading plan for the summer, and so I thought I would just come on here and share it with you. Now, before I get into that, I do want to apologize for the glasses. I'm having some eye irritation, and I don't think it's infected, but my left eye has just been really irritated, and I don't want to put my contacts in for a couple of days and see if I can just let it relax a little and calm down. So I'm gonna just have to wear my glasses, and I know there's a glare, but I don't know what else I can do. So for now, we're just gonna have to deal with it, and I apologize, like I said, for the glare. So let's get into my reading plan for the summer. Sarah originally has been hosting the Summer Romance Book Bingo for the last couple of years for June, July, and August. And I've been participating in that, helping to host, and I'm still going to be doing that this year with her, but the time frame has changed. It's kind of gone through some different, we've gone through some different ideas, and what she's settled on now is to only do the Summer Romance Book Bingo in the month of August. There's some other kind of reading romance emphasis for August, so it fits really well with that, and she's decided not to do it for the whole summer, but just the month of August, and sort of focus in, zoom in for 1 month, kind of like we do March Mystery Madness, and kind of like Olive does Nonfiction November and all of that, which is great. But because of that, that has allowed me to sort of restructure my summer reading plan, and instead of stretching out romance all summer, I'm going to just focus on it in August, so that frees up June and July to focus on something else. Well, you guys know I've been working on my 20 by 20 challenge for 3 years now. I'm in the 3rd year, and I have several series that I'm really working on finishing. So I decided to make this my summer of series and really work hard to finish some series and make progress in the other series, mainly the series that are on my 20 by 20 challenge, but also just in general series that I really want to get to. So, since I was participating in middle grade May and had already kind of intended to continue reading my middle grade books on into June, at least up until the first day of summer, which we had talked about starting the Summer Romance Book Bingo on the first day of summer, I thought, okay, well, that'll give me the first 2/3 of June to read more middle grade books, and then I'll start the bingo from that point. Well, now I have the whole month of June that I can work on middle grade books, and I started adding up the series that I think I could finish this month, or at least I'd like to make an attempt at finishing, and I decided to make that my focus. So that being said, I thought, well, if June is going to be a focus on middle grade and finishing series there, why not make August not just a focus on romance, but also a focus on finishing romance series, or at least making progress on romance series that I've started, and possibly starting a couple of others that are on my list that I would like to start. So then that left July, and I thought, well, what am I going to do with July? So of all of the series that I have left on my 20 by 20 challenge that I want to finish or make progress in, most of those could fall into the category of comfort reads. Things that I just feel really good about reading, things that I can just cozy up with, like Miss Reed and Miss Julia and Philip Gully, the Harmony series, things like that. So then I have some other Christian fiction that I would love to read. So that's going to be July. So that's my summer. My summer reading plan is June, middle grade, July, comfort reads, excluding romance. Pretty much, yeah. And I mean, some of the comfort reads have some romance elements, but that's not the main gist of the books. So, you know, there's some gray area, but it's okay. And then August will be a focus on the romance series that I want to make progress in or finish. And the overarching focus will be to finish as many series as I can, and then the secondary goal will just be to read books that are on my 20 by 20 challenge. So there you have it. That's pretty much my summer in a nutshell. And then moving forward from there, September and October will be to wrap up everything else on my 20 by 20 challenge that, well, through the rest of the year, September, October, November, December. December is usually Christmas books and whatnot. So that's kind of how I'll structure the rest of the year. Of course, November, nonfiction November, the nonfiction things that are on my TBR. I've been trying to read at least one nonfiction book a month. I'm reading one right now that's from my TBR jar, and I only have one left from that last TBR jar draw that I did. And that's the other thing I'm going to do for the rest of this year is draw fewer books from my next TBR jar draws. I've been doing 6 nonfiction and 1 fiction, and when I finish this last nonfiction book, then the next time I draw, which will hopefully be, sometime within the next month, I'm going to just draw out 3 nonfiction and 1 fiction so that it won't take me as long to finish those, and I can do my TBR jar draws more often. So that's another goal for the rest of the year. So now let's just move on into the middle grade books and the series that I want to read this month. In addition to the middle grade, I've still got book club books to read. Our book club still meets. We meet outdoors in a pavilion area, and I lead the mystery book club. And for this last time period since the libraries have been closed, I've also been leading our regular literary book club. So for this week, I need to read All the Missing Girls by Megan Miranda, and I have not even started it yet. So our mystery book club meets this Thursday. Today is Monday, June 8th, as I'm filming this, and I hope to upload this today. I'm not going to edit this video. And then so next Thursday, we need to have read Before We Were Yours by Lisa Wingate. I've been really excited about this. I've heard that this is a fantastic book based on a true story. Hard stuff to read about, but I've heard that the book is great, and so I'm really looking forward to those. So those 2 plus the nonfiction I'm reading, unless something weird and bizarre happens, are the only adult books that I'm reading this month. Everything else is middle grade. I have already finished a few, and so the series that I've already finished this month, actually I've only finished one, but I have 2 more that I'm going to finish today. I'm going to finish them today. I'm almost done. The series I've already finished is one that's not even on my 20 by 20 challenge, but they were so short that I just decided to go ahead and knock these out. I finished the original Spiderweb Chronicles series. It's a series of 5. I read the first 3 a couple years ago, and finally have found the last 2 books at library sales and wanted to go ahead and read these. Book 4 is The Ironwood Tree, and book 5 is The Wrath of Mulgarath. And this is a fantasy series. It's set in, supposed to be like in the real world, but these kids discover that fairies are real and all these other what they thought were mythical creatures are actually real, and they have to deal with them. So it's a fun fantasy series, and they're super short, and I enjoyed finishing that series. There's a spin-off series. I have the first one of that, but I'm not going to worry about reading that right now. Then the other print series that I am finishing is the Origami Yoda series. I have read this companion book, which is really more of a how-to book of how to do different doodles and little drawings, but it's very good. And this is called Art 2 D2's Guide to Folding and Doodling, and there is instructions in here about doing origami. There's also some actual paper in here with specific instructions for using these particular papers, and that is really cool. Then the last book in the series is Emperor Pickleteen Rides the Bus, and this is so fun. I am almost half done. This is a series that has a lot of graphics, and it's just a very quick series to read. Very enjoyable. The whole series is about these group of kids that are in middle school, and it's just a wonderful series about getting along with each other and dealing with each other's differences, even if some of you are a little eccentric or different. It's just a great series about getting along with all kinds of people and also getting along with authority figures and things like that. And I just think it's a great series. I'm glad that I have collected all of them, and I think it's a series I would read again. It's really, really good. It is by Tom Engelberger, and this is the last book in the series. Okay, so moving on. Those I will finish that today, and then one other series I'm in the middle of finishing. This was a series I had to carry over. This book I had to carry over from May. Ink Death is the third in the Ink World trilogy by Cornelia Funke, and I've been listening to it in my car, and I'm not in my car that much because, we're still not working and not doing a whole lot of things. The majority of the time I'm in my car is when I'm carrying Emily to therapy, and so I am able to get, once a week, I'm able to get a pretty good portion done in this, but it's not a series I'm particularly enjoying, at least not this book, but I don't know. It's I'm going to get through it. And then the next audio series that I will probably at least make more progress in after... I finished... Sorry. This is the series I am currently also finishing. I'm on the last book. It's a series of 4 books. This is the Unstoppable series of the 39 Clues. They are by different authors. This is the 3rd series in the 39 Clues series. I finished the first series, I don't know, a couple years ago, and I think last year I listened to the 2nd series, which is called Cahills versus Vespers, and then this series is called Unstoppable. It's a series of 4. It continues still with the story of the Cahills, Amy, and her brother. Oh my goodness. I can't believe I don't know his name. Wow. I was literally listening to that this morning, and I don't even know. Anyway, it's a brother and sister, and all of the clan of their Cahill family, and it's definitely unrealistic, but it's fun. It's adventurous. You do learn some history and geography because these kids are globetrotters, and it's very... I think it's a lot of fun. Now, it can get dark at times. There are definitely characters who have died and been killed and murdered, and it's intense at times. But I think a very enjoyable, very adventurous series for kids to read. And so now, once I finish that today, which that last book is maybe a 6-hour audiobook, and I only have an hour or 2 left. Then also on Hoopla, I have checked out 2 more of the Warriors series. This 3rd book is the one I'm up to next, Forest of Secrets by Aaron Hunter. This first set of books, most of the Warriors series have 6 books per series, and I at least want to finish this first series, even though I don't know if I'll continue reading any more past that or not. This series is about clans of cats. It's a fantasy series, and there's really no humans involved. They do refer to them as 2 legs, and they do exist in the world, in this world of cats. Unlike the Guardians of Ga'Hoole, which is a series about owls, there's no humans that exist in that world. It's like a futuristic series. This is supposed to be, I guess, present day, and these cats are in different clans, and they are always at war with each other, and hence the name Warriors. So anyway, it was a series that was very important to Katie when she was in later elementary school and middle school. Really enjoyed it, and so I want to see what all the fuss was about. It's definitely a very well-loved series by middle schoolers for sure. And so that is a series that I want to finish this month, at least that set of 6, the first original series. Then, as much as I would like to not start any new series, I put this one on hold on RB Digital because I didn't know how long it would be before I would get it. It is a series that I put on my 20 by 20 challenge that I wanted to start. It's only a trilogy. There are a few novellas that are extra, which, if I get to those, fine. If I don't, no big deal. But this original trilogy I'd love to read. It's a dystopian series, or a dystopian trilogy, and I really love a good dystopian, so I think I would enjoy this. And so this first one has come available now on RB Digital, and it was automatically checked out to me, so I'm going to listen to it. I have the other 2 books on my shelf, and they are also on RB Digital, so if I really, really enjoy it, then I'll go ahead and just finish this whole trilogy this month as well. And then another series that I started a long time ago, it's also on RB Digital, but I think I'm going to have to start it over, and that's the Ugly series. I've only listened to the first one. We own physical copies of all 4 of these. I don't know if Katie ever finished this series or not, but I would love to finish this series. I think it's definitely doable. I really enjoyed the first one, which is Uglies, and I would go ahead and continue on with these if I can get to them. But I have a couple of other series where I only need to read one more book and I will finish them. So I really ought to focus on these, except they are some that I'm not necessarily all that excited about. One of them is the last Kingdom Keepers book. This is a chunker, but it's the last one of this first series, and I need to get to it. It's on Scribd on audio, so I can speed it up some. So I'm really going to make myself do that. Another one that I'm a little more excited about, except that I have a hard time following it on audio, and that is the King Chronicles. This is the Egyptian mythology series by Rick Riordan. I have listened to the first 2 on audio, and I think I read the first one in print also. And I have a feeling that eventually I'm going to have to just read these in print in order to really get everything that's happening. The scenes change, and it's fast-paced, and so it's hard to keep up with on audio. I didn't find that with Percy Jackson and all of that, but with the King Chronicles, it's just harder to follow on audio. But I'm gonna attempt it because I only have this one left to finish this trilogy. I've got a companion book as well, but to finish the main trilogy is definitely doable this month. Less priority, but I also have the next book in the Trials of Apollo, The Burning Maze. I don't own any more after this one, but if not this month, then sometime this year, I would at least like to read this one, listen to it. I'll probably get it on CD from the library. I can't find it on any other of my library sources or Scribd or anything on audio. So that will be something I will get from the library, and it may not end up being this month. Okay, I think that's everything on audio that I think I could possibly finish. I have a few books checked out on Hoopla right now that I just checked out at the end of May just to use up my borrows, and most of them are shorter children's books. One of them is The 5 Little Peppers and How They Grew. One of them is The Railway Children, and a couple of other books that are written by Newbery authors that I thought would be interesting. So those you'll see when I do my mid-month wrap-up or end-of-the-month wrap-up, and I didn't even bring those in here to show you today because they're not part of this series. But so then in print, I have some, oh, you know what? I take that back. I've got another series that I did finally find on audio on Scribd. I'm super excited. I didn't think I was going to be able to get these on audio. The Descendants series by Melissa de la Cruz. I have read the first one and I own it. I don't own the second one. I have the third one here, and I would love to listen to these on audio as well. I think there's only 4 and they're all on Scribd, so if I can get to those, I definitely would like to. And if I finish everything else on audio that I want to listen to, I would love to start The Land of Stories. This first book, The Wishing Spell, is on RB Digital, and I would love to get to that if I can, but it's not a high priority. This series is by Chris Colfer. I love these covers. In fact, I did a photograph of the 5 that I own and put those on Instagram for Middle Grade May because one of our Instagram challenges was to find books with gorgeous covers, and I think this series definitely fits the bill. So I'm very interested in that series. Another series that I have been really interested to get back to is the Tillerman cycle by Cynthia Voigt. I've been working on my next Newbery video project, and that sort of put this series back into my mind. The first book is The Homecoming. The second book, Dicey Song, is a Newbery winner, and I don't know if The Homecoming is a Newbery Honor book or not, but the third book, Solitary Blue, I think is the name of it. I don't own it. It's a Newbery Honor book also, and there's 7 books in the series. When I first read this and Dicey Song, I had no idea that there were that many books in the series, and these first 2 books are really, really good. So at some point, I want to go back and reread, but I think I remember enough about the series that I could probably go on to the third one. I don't know. If I can find these on audio and get done with everything else, then I might move on to these. I think Dicey Song and Solitary Blue are on Scribd, but this one's not. So, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But this is a really good series about a family of children whose mother basically abandons them, and they set off on their own to find their grandmother. They don't know if their grandmother will even have them. The grandmother turns out to be kind of crusty, sort of cantankerous, but does eventually take them in, I believe. And it's just a fantastic, I should say it's a fantastic series, although I've only read 2 of them. But what I've read, I really, really liked. And so I would recommend for sure those. And it's definitely a series that I want to continue. Okay, so in print, I have been working all year on reading the series of Unfortunate Events. I am up to book 7, which is The Vile Village. And so I hope to get that one read this month. I plan to get that one read this month. And I'm going back and forth between trying to finish up series where I only have 1 or 2 left, or the series that I really, really want to read the most. And so I'm kind of going back and forth. This one is really the one that I have only 1 left of that I need to read in print. And it would make the most sense to start here and read this one. But I kind of want to save it. And I love the Penderwicks so much. So this is the Penderwicks at last. I have listened to all of the others on audio. And I don't know if I want to finish it or save it. It's up in the air. And the series that I most really want to read first, I still have 3 left. And that's the Shadow Children series by Margaret Peterson Haddocks. The next one here, book 5, is Among the Barrens. It's not very long, so I'm really tempted to just go ahead and read this one next. But all 3 of these together is going to be like 700 pages. And so I think I might compromise with a series I only have 2 left to read. And the total of them is less than 600 pages, and that is the Book of Ember series. I have books 3 and 4 left to read. This is book 3, The Prophet of Yonwood. I also have The Diamond of Darkhold, and I just listened to the first 2 in that series in May. So while it's fresh on my mind, I really should just go ahead and get to those last 2, which is probably what I'll end up doing. Another series I started over is the Last Survivor series by Susan Beth Pfeffer. And so there's 3 left in this one. I'm going to have to read these in print. This is the longest one. It is The Dead and the Gone. It's book 2. So if I can get it done, I could probably go ahead and read the other 2 as well. So this one got some water damage a while back, which is sad because we bought all these books brand new, all 4 of these for Katie. She has read them and reread them and reread them and has really enjoyed this series. So I definitely want to at least finish it. So then, what else? A couple of other series that if I can get to them, I would read them in print. And these are series that I would not finish this month. So I want to focus first on the series that I can finish, but I do want to make some more progress in this one. I like to read at least one of these every year. So this is the one I'm up to in the Diary of a Wimpy Kid series. It's book 8, Hard Luck. And then I checked these out from the library because this is a series that's on my 20 by 20 challenge, and I don't think I had read any of these during the challenge, so I'd like to read at least one of them this year just to say I made progress in the series. I've got this one, Charlie Joe Jackson's Guide to Extra Credit, checked out from the library, as well as the 3rd book checked out from the library. I thought there was a little more graphics in here than there is. This is there is a little bit of graphics, but not to the extent of like Diary of a Wimpy Kid or even the Origami Yoda series. Oh my goodness. That was crazy. So these are definitely a little faster to read. So I don't know if now that I've checked it out from the library, I may not try to get this read this month. We'll see how it goes. It depends on how long I can keep it out and how long it takes me to get the other higher priority stuff read. So that's about it for my focus on middle grade books for the month of June. I will be back near the end of June to show you all the comfort reads that I'm planning to get to in the month of July. And then in August, get ready for the Summer Romance Book Bingo. And I'm also working on some Instagram challenges to go along with that. Possibly a scavenger hunt type of challenge like Di did for March Mystery Madness. In fact, Di, if you're watching this, I am stealing your idea. But we're coming up with some ideas for a fun romance book cover scavenger hunt to coincide with the Summer Romance Book Bingo, which will only be in the month of August. So stay tuned for that. There will be several other hosts. And of course, Sarah is the creator and the main host of that. And I am just helping out and doing some announcements, and I'll be talking about some romance books that I like. In fact, I may do a couple of videos on some Christian romance books that I like and do some recommendation videos for that. So if you're interested in that, then be on the lookout for those videos. So that's all for this video. I hope you are having a great day. I hope that your summer is starting out wonderfully. And if you live anywhere near me where it's hurricane season, I hope you will stay safe and be prepared and all of that. And that's all for this video. I hope you're having a great day. Read a good book, and God bless you.